Welcome to Tuesday, the 26th of January, and today we're looking at can I explore layout features. So we've made some notes last session for our information text, and today we're just looking at how we would lay stuff out on the page. But first, just a quick recap of our prepositional phrases. So have a look at these. Can you underline all the prepositional phrases? So we're not looking just for prepositions. We're looking for prepositional phrases, which are the few words which go with a preposition. But if you can find the prepositions, they always start off those prepositional phrases. There is one in the first sentence, but after that, there's normally more than one in a sentence. So there's either two or three in each of the sentences, apart from the first one. So pause the video, have a go at doing that, underlining those prepositional phrases. Okay, so let's have a look what we've got. So that first one was just in the zoo. That's our prepositional phrase, starts with the preposition in. The second one was quite tricky actually, because you had to recognize that after was also a preposition. So after the war is our prepositional phrase there, and also over the river. So it tells us where the bridge is in relation to the river. It's over the river. And then we've got three in that third one. So Gary came into the room. He walked behind the desk and he sat down on the chair. So our prepositions are into, behind, and on. And finally, our prepositions are beneath and in. So we've got beneath the soil and in the garden. I've just done that last one in purple there, just so it didn't look like it was one big long prepositional phrase to actually show it is two separate ones just next to each other. So it's beneath the soil and in the garden. So we've got 8 there, I think, that you should have found. Okay, probably have a look at that tomorrow as well. So today we're looking at can I explore layout features. So in our information text, there's often quite a few easily recognizable layout features about how the work is presented on the page. So I'm just going to show a few examples of information text of different ones about different things. I just want you to see what you can spot, what layout features you can spot. Just make a list for different things that you can see. So here's one about penguins. You don't need to be reading it too much. It's just about how it's laid out on the page and what kind of other features you can see. We've got one there about volcanoes, and we got one in the middle about elephants. So I'll just let you pause that just to make a note of some of the layout features you can see. And then I've got a few more. So if you look on the next page, we've got one there about crocodiles and alligators. So what layout feature can you see in that? And also one about surviving in the cold. What layout features you can see there. I'll let you pause again and just make a list. Okay, so what ones did you find? So there were quite a few. Right now I'm thinking, just as I was looking then, I'm thinking I've forgotten in my list I've forgotten bullet points for lists. That's another good one. So you can have bullet points in there. But the main ones I saw were these ones. So there were captions, which go underneath a picture or a diagram to tell you what it's about. There were pictures and there were diagrams. So the difference between a picture and a diagram is a picture is just often just a photograph, whereas a diagram actually is a drawing that shows you how something works or what something's like inside, and it's normally got labels on it showing you about the different parts. There were subheadings and titles. So titles, the big heading at the top, like it said, crocodiles and alligators, and then the subheadings are the little headings halfway down that say things like diet and appearance and things like that. There was a did you know box. There were key fact boxes as well. There were some things that summed up key vocabulary, like a bit of a glossary. There was in that volcano one, wasn't there? And just go back and show you them really quick, actually. So in these ones, we've got, if you can see my mouse, we've got our titles here. We've got our subheadings there in the penguin one. Lots of subheadings there. We've got bullet points there as well, and subheadings in the elephant one. And the volcanoes, this is a diagram. You can see the difference between this picture here of this penguin and these penguins, and this is a diagram. You can see it's a drawing. It's not real because it shows you inside the volcano as well, but it's got lots and lots of labels. You can see you've got key vocabulary there, which is labeled as well. And if we go on to the next page, we've got our did you know box here, with some bullet points. We've also got like a key fact box there in the cold one. We've also got a picture here with a caption there. It says crocodile something in the sun, but that's what it's a picture of. So there's all of that, and here we've also got subheadings as well. These subheadings are written as questions, and then obviously we've got our titles at the top there, and then some pictures here. So they're the kind of features. So hopefully you've got all of those features. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to plan out where we're going to use these features in our own piece of writing. So you should have, from yesterday, some notes on these things. These are our 4 things we're going to write about in information text. So Roman roads, language, writing and numbers, cities and religion. So we're going to write about those 4 sections. So what you should be able to do, although we're not going to write it today, you should be able to lay out on your page roughly where everything is going to go when you do it. So I would use, I would use Piece of A4 for this. I would probably turn it maybe landscape. So the way this PowerPoint is sort of that way around. You could do a portrait if you like. It's completely up to you how you want to lay it out. And you're just going to plot on it, no writing, just roughly where all these features are going to go. So where are your pictures going to go? Where is your title going to go? What are your subheadings going to be? Are you going to have a diagram? What's it going to be of? And things like that. So I've done one. So I'm just going to talk you through how I would do mine. And then you can have a go at just drawing out on your A4 page where everything's going to go. So you're going to be using a ruler. So you are just going to have boxes where different things are going to go, but you are going to be using a ruler to make it look neat. And you're just trying to make it look like a nice, neat kind of plan. So I'll show you what mine looks like. So firstly, I put my title in, and I know what my title is. So I've actually written it. So I've put, how did the Romans change Britain? You could put the impact of Romans on Britain. You could put, what did the Romans do for us? Anything like that. You could even put just Romans in Britain. But that's my title. I've decided I'm going to do it nice, big bubble writing. I'm going to underline it. So that's what you can do. You can underline it as well. Use a ruler if you're doing that. If you're doing bubble writing, make it nice and neat. So lay that out. Once I've got my title, I'm then going to put in my subheadings. And I think I'm going to have 4 columns, just like that. And I'm going to underline my subheadings, but I'm not going to put them in bubble writing. But I'm going to have 4 columns like this with roads, religion, cities, language, writing, and numbers. And I'm just going to have them in 4 columns like that. Once I've done that, I'm going to go back and I'm going to think, right, where am I going to put a picture? Let's have a picture somewhere. And I think, well, the best thing to draw a picture of maybe is a Roman road. So I'm going to put my picture of a Roman road there. So I've drawn my box with a ruler, and I haven't drawn the picture because there's no point repeating it. I'll draw it later, but I do need to know what that picture is of. There's no point just putting, oh, I'm going to put a picture there and not thinking what it's of. So I'm going to put a picture of a Roman road, and then just to show why, underneath, I'm going to put a caption. And obviously our caption is going to say, depending on what the picture is, but it's going to be about a Roman road. So I've got a picture and a caption. Then I'm going to think, well, I want a kind of diagram as well. So what could I do a diagram of? Well, I'm thinking, I know that sort of the Roman cities were laid out in a grid fashion. I know they had like a forum sort of in the middle, like a market square. So, you know, that seems to me a sensible thing to do a diagram of. I'm going to put my diagram there. And again, I haven't just written diagram. I've used a ruler and I've written diagram of a Roman town in a grid layout with the forum labeled. So I even know what I'm going to label. And then, of course, because it's diagram, I'm just going to put a caption just telling the reader what that diagram is about. Now, the next thing I think, I want a kind of either a key fact box or a did you know box. And I think a did you know box is going to be better. And I don't want it just a boring box. I'm going to make it stand out. So I'm going to have a nice spiky star there. Again, I've used a ruler. But I'm going to have did you know? And I'm going to say, and I'm not just going to put did you know? Again, I'm going to need to know what it is I'm going to put in there. So I think the fact when we talk about religion, I remember in the video, it said that a lot of our gods were named after the Roman planets. Sorry, a lot of the planets are named after the Roman gods. And I know it said that, so I think maybe that's a good point for a did you know box. I can list some of the Roman gods, like Mars was a god of war and things like that. So I can put that in. I also think now, though, I need a kind of a glossary, because I think yesterday we wrote down sort of 5 or 6 keywords, which people might know what they mean, might not know what they mean. So I figure I need that. So I'm going to put that there at the bottom. I'm going to put a key vocabulary or glossary with the words from Monday's lesson explained. Now, the only thing I haven't got is a key fact box, but I think I've got a did you know box. I don't have to include everything. So I'm just going to, I think that looks good as it is. And then I'm just going to use my ruler to just put in the lines where I'm going to write. So all of that is just going to be writing. Now, if you notice, I've probably not really left myself a lot of space with cities there. So I haven't got a huge amount of space, but I'm trying to do this on the laptop when I've only got one slide because I want to show it you on one slide. But I think if you have your sheet of paper, maybe you could even do it A3, or you could, if you've got it in your book, it's slightly bigger. So I think you'll have more space than I do on this. So this is just a rough idea of how mine's going to look. But you can see at the end of that, it's really, really clear how I'm going to lay it out, what I'm going to put where. I know exactly what I'm going to do. The only thing I don't know yet is what I'm going to do in the writing, what I'm actually going to write in those key sections. But that's what we're going to look at tomorrow and the day after. So at the moment, for the end of today, you can pause that here. I just want you to design your own information text and just how it's going to look.